Okay, so this is round two of the live. I hope that you can hear me now. I was told that you could not hear me, so I hope that you can hear me now. Hey, love. Um, but okay, better. Thank you. Okay, better. So first part of the video from the first live, I was talking about how my sister is in China and how she called me, so I apologize for that. And I was saying when my makeup is done. So I always meet amazing women. And what I was saying is that I went to, on my board, my personal, and then I have a business board. And my personal board, I wrote down that I wanted to meet women who basically know who they are, know their worth, and are in a position to pour into me as pretty much I'm pouring into them. Because I think that right now, abundance, like I don't just think, like I said, 2019 is the year of abundance. And when I say abundance, I don't just mean wealth and wealth when it comes to money, but I mean a wealth of energy, an exchange of energy, an exchange of ideas, having that intimacy outside of a relationship when it comes to romantic relationship, but having a platonic intimacy. So I've really been trying to strive for that. And it's been hard for me because, I have my sisters, and my sisters are like my very best friends. And so with that, and because of my, how I was in a relationship for so long, like my relationships from 18 to 30 really were around this person and how we connected with each other. And so now it's like I have to cultivate relationships, and trying to cultivate relationships with grown ass people who have their life, their families, their spouses, it's hard. So you have to really put the effort in. And, I am a person who I'm an introvert and an extrovert. So I can be by myself and replenish myself, but then I also love to be around people, which is, I think, why I'm so good with what I do. Shout out to myself. Okay. But that is why it's a struggle. It is really a struggle. So I find that, I can check in and then I can check out. And that's something that I'm working on for myself, because I know I do that on a consistent basis. So I'm trying to be better with that. So with this being the year of abundance, like I really wanted to make sure that I was going to events that allowed me to connect with women who really understood my platform, but not only understood my platform, but that I could support them in their journey and they could support me in my journey. So I went to this event and I met this young lady, not young lady, I keep saying young lady, named Nakia. And when I tell you I met her in just the instant connection, it was just like when I met Noni, who's on here of Woman and Things, and just that connection of being in a space like your spirits are like, yes, it's like, where you been at? Like, where you been at? Like, I've been waiting for you. We've been waiting. Like, we knew each other in a past life. And so I feel like that is what, how we connected. And we sat and we spoke from like 5 to like 8. And we just sat and we had tea. I had a little, mixed vegetable patty, and we just sat and we just talked about everything from education to, relationships to, the state of America, and just, women and the connections that we make, and, how we grow, and, what it's like getting older. Like, we talked about everything, and it just was like, there was no, like, my phone was down except for when I had to pay my meter, but everything it just flowed, and it was just a connection of just being in a space of just sharing. And it was interesting because when I first met her and I told her what I did, every time I tell, especially Black women, what I do, the reaction is always like, what? Like, for real? I'm like, yeah, let me show you what I do. And so that connection was there. And then she was like, you know what? She's from Louisiana. And so she was like, when I was in Louisiana, I put on events and I had, art shows and things. Like, my family is a family of planners, like event planners. So she's like, I would love to do something for you in that space. And so my immediate reaction was, girl, like, what's the deal? Like, what is the deal? And then I had to stop myself and process and say, not everybody is out to to be in a space to, try to get something from you. There are certain people, because I know I'm that way, and I know Noni is that way. Like Katana of DL Trap, like she is that way as well. Like not everybody is out to try to get one over on you. Like some people are just genuinely amazing, nice, just people. And they just, they love to give from a space of love and just who they are as a person. And so I had to stop that process of me going like, wait, why is she saying this? Like what? And then really think about, okay, I'm trusting my intuition. I'm trusting myself to really be open to this. And so just being open to that, and just being open and just saying, just saying out loud, like I'm open to receiving people who love me unconditionally, who want the best for me, who are in a space of wanting the best for themselves and know who they are. And within that space, it's really allowed me to be open to meet new people, to meet women who are on the same wavelength as me. Like we vibrating up here, we're not doing no low vibrational stuff. How are you? Thank you for joining. And I love it. Like I love it. Like it's really allowed me to do things that I would never do, be in places that I would never be in. And I always literally meet one amazing woman whenever I go out, like whenever I go to different events, who are so in tune with themselves. So it really allows me to just be, well, I'm going to be myself regardless, but it really allows me, yes, tribe sisters, it really allows me just to be in a space of peace. And know that, they don't see me as competition, because I don't ever think I'm in competition with anyone but myself. Like shout out to Beyonce and them, because she be saying that all the time. But like, I don't think I'm in competition with anybody, because like I always say, there are people who can do what I do, but they cannot do it like me. That's just point blank. And that's real. Like there are people who do what you do, but they can't do that shit like you do. And that's how I feel. So I'm always, my competition is me one-upping myself and literally thinking bigger, thinking outside the box, and wanting to see other women do the same exact thing that I'm doing, just in their chosen field or whatever they decide to do, their chosen, creative outlet, just letting them know that I want them to be just as big as me. Because when you winning, I'm winning. When you eating, I'm eating. And I don't want there to be any competition. Like there is no competition. I have friends who are boudoir photographers, and I truly love them, because I'm able to bounce ideas off of them and still be in a space, like say, if they decide to do the same thing I'm doing, I feel no type of way about it, because I'm like, hey, we don't shoot the same way. And we are all different. Like there are 5 of us that are a group. We're in a group chat, and we talk to each other when I say every day. If I miss 30 minutes, there are 100 messages just with us going back and forth, sharing information. And it allows me to have a creative outlet, a business outlet, and just friendship, like truly, honestly, friendship, where I can say something to them and be like, y'all, it's been a rough day, what's going on with you all? And they understand. And it really allows me to strive for something else, because 3 of them actually are full-time photographers, like full-time boudoir. They do other things, but they're literally full-time. And so it allows me to really see what I can do and not feel like I'm in competition with them. Even though one of them, I think, is maybe 2 hours for me or so. And one is in Delaware, which I don't know, it was 3 hours, 2 hours for me. But literally, we are in the same exact industry, but we connected because I wanted to have that tribe of photography women who are Black women who understand what I'm going through, what I deal with, and love that we can share that. And they hold my feet to the fire and be like, yeah, like, you fucking up. Like, I need you to get your shit together. And I appreciate that, because I do well with constructive criticism. Like, if you are an artist or art student, like, you deal well with constructive criticism, because that's what it's about. So I love that. I love that I can do that with them. And I love that I'm making connections with women who know who they are, Like, it's so refreshing when you meet someone who knows exactly who they are, because then you don't have to be in a space where you can say something. I think I had this conversation with Noni, where you don't have to feel like you're in a space where you can say something and someone doesn't think that you are bragging. And it's not that you're bragging, like, you're just stating facts. Like, that's all it is. Like, I know I'm good, and I'm just stating a fact. Like, Simone Biles. Yeah, that's her name. Simone Biles, who was like, is that her name, y'all? Y'all gotta help me, because I don't know, because I be on Instagram, but I don't be on there like that. But anyway, like, she was like, I know I'm the best. Like, it's a fact. I don't have to downgrade myself because I won all these damn medals. You see all these medals on my neck? Like, I won all these medals. I know I'm the best. Like, the facts. You can't argue with facts. Like, you can't. You can't. And when you know who you are, like, no one can tell you anything else. And I love it. I love it. I love to see Black women winning. Like, I love, it feels like butter. Like, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I am always in a space of saying, I see you. I want to support you. Like, slow clap. That's my shit. Like, I want to support you. And I think that sometimes when that happens, women sometimes, especially because we have been, especially Black women, because I'm just talking to Black women right now. Sometimes you'll be in a space where people always say, like, you'll see those memes that say, you know, if only Black women supported each other. I'm like, well, you know, because all the Black women I know support me. They support me. Even if they can't buy from me, they support me by sharing. They support me by liking, by commenting. Even other boudoir photographers, I comment on their pictures. They comment on my pictures. If there's a something that you're doing, I share it. And I don't feel like it's competition, because it is what it is. Like, it is, if we winning, you winning, we all winning, because that's what I want. I want everybody to win. There's no purpose in me saying I can't support you and I can learn from you. Because if you're not learning, you're stagnant, and then you just did. Like, your whole, I think it was Les Brown who was saying that some people stop growing at a certain age, because that's literally where they're still getting older, but they have stopped growing at that one age because they're just dead inside, because there's no growth. Their mindset has been fixed, and wherever it was fixed is where it stays. I don't want to be like that. I always want to grow and learn and be in a space of learning. So that's my spiel with that. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, sorry, I got stuff from outside, is this. I know Noni has one, which I'm excited about. But so I wrote something called the Empowerment Jewels. I want y'all to see the shine. And talking about what I'm talking about with growth and not having a fixed mindset is something that I had to struggle with and really grow into who I am today, and really be in a space of understanding, you know, that my journey is for me. Like I always say at the end of my videos, your longest relationship is the relationship you have with yourself, and the most expensive relationship is the relationship that you have with yourself. Because you have to be in a space of using your mind, your body, your spirit to really propel yourself forward. Because if not, then, you know, what's the purpose? So something that I did that I'm always doing is journaling. Like, journaling to me has really helped me process and move through life in my own pace, and allowed me to really connect with the woman that I wanted to be, and that I really want the world to see. Not for the world to influence me, but that I want them to see, like, this is who I am, this is me. And so with that, I wrote, I put this journal together because I felt like in the market, what I was seeing, because even for me, I was looking for journals that really allowed me to develop myself as a Black woman. And I didn't really see anything that I really connected with that was not just a journal, but actually a workbook. And so what I did was, as I always do, if I don't see it, I'm going to create it. That's what I do. And so I created this, and I created this because I knew that it would help other women, because it really helped me. Like, what I put into this really is from my own like composition notebook. I got a composition notebook. I put it into like different spaces, like it almost looks like a modified bullet journal. And I started to write things down that really spoke to my spirit and what I wanted to be. So for this, I put all of that information into this right here. And I did that because, like I said, I realized that as I was talking to women who I was shooting, and as I was talking to some of my, girlfriends or associates, there were a lot of hurt women, or not even hurt women, just women who don't know who they are, and they don't really know how to begin their journey, or they started their journey of healing, but then they get stuck. Because it's like, now what? And I know, because I'm speaking from experience, where I've been in the journey and then I'm like, okay, now what? Like, what's the next step? Like, how do I get to, I see what I want, but I don't know how to get there. And so what I did was, I decided to, my first empowerment jewel videos really spawned this as well. So I put them into, five different jewels. So one of them, the first one is loving yourself. Then I have when you look good, you feel good. Love letters, you are good. Reclaiming your time. And then the last two are not even jewels. It's just goddess, affirmation, and then growth. And I think I might do another one with what I have now. But what I love about this is that I actually put it together in a way that you actually get something on this side, and then from here you actually use it. Like, you actually use it to write information about yourself. So for this one, which is loving yourself, I talk about listing all the parts of your body that you love. That was hard for me. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And what I did was exactly this. Like, I listed everything that I love, from my lips to my eyes. Of course, I didn't say my feet because I got big feet. I got my father feet, so it is what it is. And then on the opposite side of that, it says list all the parts of your body that you are learning to love. And so I did that. My feet, like I said, I had my dad's feet. My back. If you watch my videos, I've talked about my back and how, with hyperpigmentation, like, I don't show my back. Like, I just don't. And only this year, literally, and probably in the last 2 years, if that, is when I've really started to be in that space where I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I don't even care if you like it or love it. You just gonna get it. Like, that's how I feel. And then I listed an activity that really talks about what to do when you are starting to love yourself. So lighting your favorite candles, choosing mood music, and then I put one of my favorite artists, India Irie, dimming the lights, grabbing your favorite wine, pouring a glass, and then really looking at yourself and just taking in who you are right now. Like, what your body represents, how it has brought you to where you are now, and just really be in a space to thank your body, like to thank yourself. And then from there, I, give you an affirmation that comes with that to say for yourself. Because I'm big on affirmations. I think they're important. And then I give you, when it says, when you look good, you feel good. I'm a thrift shopper. I love the thrift store. I love the thrift store. When I tell you, like, all this right here is from the thrift store. And so for me, and I purge, even today, I'm purging things so that the Veterans of America can come get this stuff. So I purge at least in the winter or right before winter, and then in the summer again. And I do that for two reasons. One, because I want to get rid of the old and all that energy that no longer serves me. And two, because I like to buy new stuff sometimes. And so because I thrift, I always want to make sure that I got room in my closet. Hey, sis. And I was just saying, I said, my sister is here, y'all. She in China. And I was saying, I said, I put into your comments on your live that I'm going live and I'm going to call you when I finish, and you call me anyway. But it's good because they said my sound wasn't working. So I digress. I'm going back to what I was saying. So when you look good, you feel good. It's talking about thinking about occasions when you felt like a goddess. What were you wearing? And for me, like most of the time when you see me come live on my lives for my empowerment jewels, I always have lipstick on. I love red lips. I love red. I love a good red lipstick. So I always have red lipstick on. And then it talks about, going into your closet, and what that means for you. And then love letters. This one really changed the way that I felt about myself. So I wrote poems to myself. I wrote poems about me that are in my room right now. I framed them and I have them in my bedroom. And what I did was, because I don't really do letters, but I'll write poems. So in here, I have take a moment to contemplate what you love about yourself. Write down as many adjectives as you can about yourself. And then from there, you put that in a love letter to yourself. And so on the second page, that's what you actually do. You write that letter to yourself. Let me see. And then you are good. So this is about writing down 3 things that you excel at. Okay, thanks, love. I just read it. Thank you. Write down 3 things you excel at. It can be anything. Tip: when you are feeling down, take this list out and remind yourself of your greatness. When I list, even if you don't buy this, I really want you to do that right now. I really want you to get an index card, put it in your phone. I don't care what it is, and write down 3 things that you excel at. If you don't know, ask your good girlfriends, what are 3 things that you excel at? Because when I tell you, when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, when you take that out, or when you look at it and then you realize how much of a bad bitch you are, you be like, I ain't even got time for all this other shit. Like, I don't have time for this, because I'm looking at what I do well at and what I excel at. And I'm going to keep that in my space with me, because people will try to bring you down. And when you look at that, you realize who you are and you know your worth. And then for that, I even put that on the other side, like to really go to 3 loved ones. I said loved ones, to tell you what they think you excel at. So you do it for yourself, and then you ask 3 people that you know that's going to give you that good information to say yes. Reclaiming my time is my favorite one. Like, I think I wrote reclaiming my time over maybe 3 or 4 times. And literally the first thing it says is no is a complete sentence. And I'm going to read this because I think this is important. Give yourself permission to set boundaries. You may feel guilty by speaking up or saying no, especially to close friends and family members. You are still a good daughter, friend, or sister. Feeling drained or taken advantage of by the people you love is not healthy. It ain't healthy. Boundaries are a sign of a healthy relationship and self-respect. On page 20 are 2 examples of boundary scripts. So I even give you a script you can use to help move you in the right direction once you identify your boundaries. It's a lot of people who don't understand boundaries. And when they don't understand your boundaries, they get mad. Because if you deny access to people and they've had access to you for a long ass time, and then you decide that this is not working for me anymore, you will really see who truly unconditionally loves you. Because when you give boundaries to people and they come back on the defensive, they weren't for you anyway. They love to have access to you, but they don't really like who you are. They just love the things that they get from you. So this is why I wrote this. Yep, gaslighting. So this is why I wrote this section over, because I kept really thinking and processing about this. So in the first part, I got makeup. I'm trying not to get makeup on myself. Identify your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual limits. Think about what makes you feel uncomfortable and stressed. Uncomfortable. Like there are things or times or moments or people who you're around them and your spirit just don't take to them. So maybe you start to sweat, maybe, your eyes start to twitch, something like that. Or maybe, your palms get sweaty, or you just don't feel good. Like when you're in a space and you just don't feel good, especially if you keep going back to that person or you keep going back to that space. Like this is what this is about. I'm not just talking about physical either. I'm talking about emotional, mental, and spiritual. Like those are, when you reach those limits and you keep going back, like that means you need to set a boundary and you need to put that here. And then I have tune into your feelings. Think about a situation or interaction where you felt discomfort or anxiety. What caused it? So it's not enough to say this person makes me feel this way. It's what happened. What was going on? So you can really pinpoint the times and the moments, so you can say, I didn't really even think about it like that. Like I didn't realize like this was happening. And now as I'm going back and I'm thinking about it, like this was the exact moment when this shit happened. And now I know. And sometimes you don't think about, because life is going fast. And, with 24-hour news cycles, it's not even 24 hours anymore. It's like instantaneous. And the way, life is going, and, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're like, all these things are coming at you. And you don't even realize that you're being bombarded with so much information that you really have to take time to think about when these moments happen, because you're being bombarded. Even with this, let me tell you how I just set a boundary recently. So in the mornings, because I have Facebook that I have to do for my group. I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, 2 Instagram accounts that I have to take care of in the morning, and then LinkedIn. And then, like I said, the group, which I kind of schedule anyway. And what I realize is that when I get up super early, and so I do not check my phone until maybe 6:30. So I may be up for an hour, but I won't check my phone until 6:30. And then what I realize is that if I'm on Facebook and I'm surfing and I'm not just on there for the sole purpose of getting into my group, and just copying and pasting what I have from my group into Instagram, and I'm scrolling, depending on what is coming up on my feed, it really affects me. So if it's talking about, somebody being hurt, or it's talking about, whatever Mr. Cheeto Man is doing in the White House, or anything that really just upsets my spirit, and I realize I have to stop doing that. So when I go on when I go on Facebook now, like I'm not scrolling. I go right to my own VIP page, which you need to check out. I go right to my VIP page. I do what I have to do there, and then I get out. And then I go to Instagram. I go right to my business page. I upload what I need to upload, and then I get right out of there, and I go into my other Instagram page, which is it's for boudoir photographers who shoot Black women. And I post up a picture there, and then I go through that, and then I get off. Oh, and then I do LinkedIn. Then I get on LinkedIn, and then I get off. Because I was starting to realize that, I'm going through the motions and seeing all of this, death, destruction, kidnapping, all these things. And it was really starting to affect me. Like it was starting to affect my day. And that's the beginning of my day. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So I had to set that boundary with myself. And you can set boundaries with yourself. And that was a boundary that I needed to set, because I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like I'm looking at this stuff and I just can't. And so I just said, you know what? No more. And even now, like I'm still working on setting a timer for social media. I've been working, so I'm gonna work on that some more. But that was a boundary that I had to set, because I was doing myself a disservice, honestly. But back to this. So what I said about reclaiming your time and having that boundary is start small and write down 1 or 2 boundaries you would like to put into place immediately. Remember, this work takes practice, support, and courage. And then I put you can do it. And then I have the script. Because I think sometimes with a lot of, I wouldn't really call this a self-help book because I don't feel like it's a self-help journal or book. But a lot of times people will tell you to do things but don't tell you how to do it, or even give you a clear direction on where to start. So I give you 2 scripts to start in, and then I even give you the wording to put with it. So I'll read the first one. The first one says, my need for safety, and then I have, or it could be respect, consideration, emotional safety, etc., isn't met when you. So I give you exactly what to put in, and then you fill in the rest. And excuse me. And then hold on. And then I have you write it out. And then on the other page, I said, make self-care a priority, which you know I'm all about self-care. Give yourself permission to put yourself first. Self-care will strengthen your motivation to set boundaries and foster ideas of what makes you happy. And then I have you pretty much write down what makes you happy. You know, I said that 2020 is the year of joy. Like, to me, like I said, 19 was the year of abundance, and then 20 is the year of joy. And then from there, I actually even give you phrases to use. I give you, 7 phrases to use to express that a boundary has been crossed. Because sometimes people don't get it, so you gotta say it to them very clearly. You know how people get those emails that say, per my last email, which is like, I need you to really read this shit because you didn't read it the first time like I wanted you to. So this is what this script is. When people don't get it the first time and you got to really express and explain to them, I even give you 7 things to say. So if the first one don't work, I don't think you should go through all 7, but at least maybe you can go through 2. I would just do 1, but that's me personally. But I would say at the max 2 to 3. And then from there, you know, they just not with it. And then for goddess affirmations. So if you came to my open house, this was something that I actually gave to all the women that came to my open house. I gave them a little card with this information. And it says, speaking life and love into yourself should be a part of your daily routine. Start by using the powerful phrase, I am. I do this every day. And this is what that looks like, where you are actually writing an I am. And then on the side, I also have images of the beauties that I shot. And then I also have different phrases. And I even give you like 2 sides of that. So you get 2 sides to write your I am statement. And then for growth, this is my favorite. I'm not going to lie. Between the boundaries and the growth. And I love this part because, like I said, a lot of times you'll go through self-help books. I can't talk because I'm tired. And like they get you to a point and then it stops. And I hate that. And so I take you from the beginning when you're doing the work to get to this point, which is the growth part. And so what I have is, you are on your way, goddess. I'm so very proud of all the hard work you have put forth. The final step to this journey is to describe the woman you want to be. Here are a few questions to help you get started. So you go through the process, excuse me, and then you get here. And these are questions that I've actually really thought about myself and I've done for myself. So I says, what does she look like? Like literally, this woman that you're trying to become, what does she look like? Give as many details as possible. How is her mental health? Is she in therapy? Y'all know y'all know how I feel about therapy. Go. How is she physically? Does she exercise? Who is her tribe? How do they support her? Which I talked about in the beginning of this video. What is her career? What is her salary? Has she traveled? Has she set healthy boundaries and distanced herself from toxic environments and people? Does she love herself unconditionally? Does she practice self-care? Is she truly happy with herself? Is she at peace with her life and decisions? Is she stable financially? Has she been saving money? And then I have a blank page here. And then 2 other blank pages here. And I wanted to really put this out there today because I think, and this is what it looks like. This is the front and the back. And then I in the back, I just have like a little thing that I wrote to say, thank you. I understand how you can go through a journey, because I had to go through this journey from 31, and I'm still going through this journey now at 34. And the journey is, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard as shit. Like, it's every day is hard. But the people that I've been able to connect with, the women that I've been able to connect with, like my sisters, my family, the support system that I'm building has really allowed me to grow into the Alicia you see today. Because the Alicia you see today was not the Alicia that you saw even 2 years ago. And just how I've been able to transition and really grow into a positive, growth mindset. Just all around, I think I'm amazing. I mean, hey, a woman, and that journey is never ending. I'm not going to say it's something that stops, but it is a journey, and I love this journey. Like, I can truly, honestly say that within the last 2 years, I can actually say that I love myself unconditionally. And I could not say that, and I'm 34. And I know that through my boudoir photography and through, this, it's been a real big part of my journey in me saying that, I love myself unconditionally. And not a lot, like, people can say I love myself, but when you say I love everything about me and really mean it, it allows you to be open to other people who feel that same way. Now, they are going to be some that like to slide, because, there are some, what I would call succubus. If you don't know what that is, look it up, because I like to read. But there are some people who will drain you because they see that in you. And you have to put up those boundaries, like I said. But you really have to love yourself unconditionally, because it allows you to not take any shit. Like, when you love yourself, when you treat yourself and you love yourself unconditionally, practice self-care, set boundaries, you're not going to put yourself in a situation or deal with people who don't see that for themselves, or don't see the light that you bring in, who are at a lower vibration and you are way up here and they are down here, just not doing what you know or who you are, and they're trying to bring you down. Like, you're not even going to entertain it. You're going to be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And honestly, you won't even argue with them. You just be like, okay. Like, that's my thing. My things I say is, okay, duly noted, and I'm going to just let you be great. Y'all can use that. Okay, duly noted, and I'm going to just let you be great. Or just let them be great. And it has allowed me to really be in a space of peace. Because when you're not arguing with people, or when you're not about that drama, like, it allows you really to be like, yeah, okay. And you don't get that same, like, if you're not getting, or someone is not pouring into you, but they still want to take from you and take and take and take and take and take, you have to set those boundaries. And when you love yourself unconditionally, you don't allow people to come in and dictate to you about how you are, how you should feel, how you should dress, how you should look. And that's why I love what I do with boudoir photography, because I allow the beauties, my clients, to come in and they dictate to me within reason. Because there's some stuff I'm like, girl, we is not going to do this from the chandelier. But within reason, like, I'm like, tell me what sexy is to you. Tell me how you want to feel. Tell me how you want your makeup to look. Tell me how you want. Well, I don't do hair, so I'm not even going to go there. I was about to go there, but I don't do that. But just tell me what you want and tell me how you want to feel. And I think I said this in the beginning of my videos, like when I was doing like 1 and 2 and 3, is that I'll have women who come in and I'll say to them, tell me, or they'll come in because, you know, I provide outfits. And the first thing they say is, how do I look? And I say, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel? I know how you look from my mind's eye, but how do you feel when you have that on? And that changes the thought process, because now it's not about me, it's about you. It really is. It's about you and how you feel. And I love that I can offer that. And that's the main reason why I did this book. And that's the main reason why my purpose is to empower Black women, because I really want to know, like, how do you feel? And when I say it, I mean it. Like, how do you feel? And a lot of times people don't understand or don't get that because they're so busy taking care of others, which is why I love what I do, because it's like, no, now it's your turn to invest in you. Now it's your turn to tell me what you want. And I am going to do everything in my power to give you exactly what you want. And that is what I'm here for. And so that's why boudoir is such a huge part, I think, of a lot of women's journeys, because they get what they want and they love it, because they're like, wow, that's me. I'm like, yes, that's you in all your glory. That is you. That's you being beautiful. That's you, you know, in your space. That is you living up to what you believe your sexy is. So with that, I know this is a long video. I don't even know how long this is right now. But with that, I just want to say thank you for all of you who are here, who've interacted with me tonight. I so greatly appreciate you. And as always, like I said before, you are your longest relationship. You are your longest relationship. You are your most expensive relationship. So you need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself every single day, every day. Make sure you are living for yourself. Make sure you are loving yourself unconditionally, because you cannot be giving from a broken foundation. If your foundation is cracked, it's like a house, everything is fucked up. If your foundation is messed up, everything else is messed up. So you have to make sure that you are living in a space where you are comfortable with yourself, where you love yourself unconditionally, flaws and all. So I hope that you are doing that, taking care of yourself. As always, yes, help others, but self first, then others. Self first, then others. Have an amazing, what's today? Wednesday. Yeah, think about that. And just make sure that, you know, you're loving yourself, taking care of yourself. Take yourself out. I take myself out all the time. Who's going to do it but me? So I'm going to do it. But thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Check out the link in my bio if you are interested in figuring out how you can get into my studio, or if you want to get the empowerment jewel, I have it there. I have digital copies as well as the paper copy or the booklet. But thank you. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place.